How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about my favorite feeling move, the Shaka. Let's get right into it. So the big question is, why would you want to learn how to Shaka? Well, not only, as I mentioned before, is it the best feeling move in windsurfing, but for any wave sailors out there who want to learn how to backside 360, this is exactly the same technique and you can practice when you don't have the waves around. One little caveat though, I would really recommend knowing how to flakka before you learn how to Shaka. For that, I've got a full tutorial. I'll leave it in the link in the description of this video. It's also got a nice description of what apparent wind is and how it works, and that explanation is going to become really useful here in this video. So let's get into the Shaka then. The first thing that is really important about the Shaka is your speed. You have to be going really, really fast with this. The reason being is that the apparent wind will then become straighter, making your takeoff much easier. One of the biggest misconceptions with the Shaka is that you need to carve really hard upwind in order to get the rotation and take off. In fact, it's a short, snappy carve, and you want to be traveling forwards a long way. The further forwards you travel, the floatier your Shakas are going to be, and the more control you're going to have when it comes to the landing. Depending on the spot that you sail, will really dictate the type of chop that you want to take off from. When you're on flat water, obviously you haven't got any chop to pick from, so you can really play with going downwind and your angles to see which suits you best. In choppy conditions, it's important not to pick that bit of chop that's coming directly across, but one that's coming across and side on, so 45 degrees at you. This is like the optimum angle to get the kick upwind with the board, but also for your body and the momentum to travel forwards. Like with the flakka, a lot of the Shaka is in the takeoff of the maneuver, so preparing and the initiation is the important part we're going to focus mostly on. Once you spot your piece of chop and you've got loads of speed, it's time to prepare yourself to take off. Like with all freestyle moves, it's time to bring yourself inboard over the center line so you've got maximum control of the board, and this is especially important with the Shaka as we have that carving snap. Once your body is inboard over the center line, you can sheet out the sail and shift your weight forwards as the sail shifts slightly further back. This is loading it up a little bit like a spring is coiled up. This sheet out and back with the sail is what is going to allow the mast foot pressure from the board to be released so that you can snap the board upwind while also giving you space to jump forwards into between the sail and the board. Once you are 1 meter away from that bit of chop, it's time to do our aggressive carve with our feet. Again, we want to be all on our front foot, and it's a quick snap to hit that piece of chop and kick our front leg upwind into the sky. With the top half of your body and your torso, you want to be jumping forwards and onto that front arm, which is pushing aggressively down onto the boom. You can really hinge at your hips here so that your feet are doing one thing and your body weight, your head and the sail are doing another. At this point, it is essential that you don't push out with your backhand. As soon as you push out with your backhand, you're going to kill any rotation that you had and you're going to end up going straight the same way. Although this is a shove it, I would really recommend never learning to shove it until you've got the Shaka technique down, because once you learn how to shove it, your Shaka technique will really suffer as a result. Now we're traveling forwards in the air, starting to turn through the wind. It's now important to start pulling up with your backhand so that you expose as little of the sail to the wind as possible. If you're getting to this point where you've just taken off but you're not feeling any float or pressure in the sail, this is probably a result of you not going fast enough or you're not jumping far enough forward. The apparent wind should be coming at you, and this apparent wind is what gives us that floaty extra lift feeling, which is then going to help us also rotate around the rotation. However, if you are getting this floaty feeling, that's brilliant. Keep looking into the rotation so your head will automatically turn your shoulders and your hips, which is only going to help you go further around that rotation. As you're coming round, continue to pull in with that back arm, which again will encourage the sail to initiate more rotation, and you should come through the wind. If you're getting to the point where you land into the wind and can't quite get that last extra bit of rotation, then try lifting up with your back leg. This should bring the board down on the nose and help get that last 5 or 10 degrees to initiate into the flakka position. Once you've managed to land the first 180 degrees of the rotation, the rest of it is exactly the same as a flacker. It's incredibly intuitive. You keep holding that position with the sail pulled in until you're back on a run, the opposite direction. You open up the sail and you sail away. Once you're in the air, it's really important for me to emphasize to keep that front arm locked out and straight. As soon as you break that connection, you're going to lose control of the sail and eventually the rotation. If you're struggling with a specific point of the Shaka and you want my advice on it, then I've left my email address in the description of this video. Feel free to send me your clips and I will break them down in a future video so that we can all learn from each other's mistakes. If you guys enjoyed this video, I've got plenty of content very similar to this. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and comment below if you want to see what I'm up to on the water at the moment, and I hope to see you in the next one.